What's up, y'all? It's your girl Crystal from Scary Horror Show. Just sitting out here waiting on KJ. We're getting ready to do our classic horror movie review for the original Friday the 13th. So I'm waiting out here, y'all. He ain't gonna get me this time. I'm ready. Nothing to scare me. He be playing too much. I'm good.
Hey, what up, Deadites? It's your boy KJ. Crystal, you still mad?
Way too much.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna scare you again.
You always say that.
You're right. But I won't do it no more, I promise.
Okay.
Can we get started on the review?
Yes.
Okay, so let's try it from the top. What up, Deadites? It's your boy KJ.
And your girl Crystal.
From the Scary Horror Show.
What's up, y'all?
We are coming live from the Horror Cave to do our 42nd anniversary classic horror review of the original Friday the 13th.
Dun, 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 dun.
That's right. And being that today is Friday the 13th,
yes.
and the movie came out May 9th, but today is May 13th, we're going to do the review.
It's still the anniversary week, though.
That's right. So that Friday the 13th, millions, thousands of kids went to their local theater to see the classic.
You think kids went to see it? You think parents and kids went to see it?
Okay, when I say kids, like 15,
Teenagers?
16, 17,
Okay. I can see that.
I ain't talking about little kids. Don't take your little kids to see that. So this is obviously heavy spoilers, but this movie came out 42 years ago. So if you didn't see it,
sorry. And it's a classic review, guys, so
there we go.
yeah.
Alright, so it starts off in the 50s. There are two kids, not kids, because Chris keeps checking me, had to be age appropriate.
You know they were teenagers, probably.
There were two teenagers getting very lusty.
Counselors. It was like it was a church camp too, y'all. So they was singing church songs.
They was strumming milk and honey on the other side. Looking at each other like you wanted to see what was on the other side of her. You know what I'm talking about?
Squinting and giving each other the eye, and they like, let's go to the back.
So they went to the back. They were getting freaky, and the next thing I know, we weren't doing nothing. And they both got slaughtered.
I love how they did that though, so because you don't know who's the killer. You're like, wait a minute.
Yeah, and that actually is kind of fire.
That whole concept of the whole movie was the way they did it was really good. Wow, it was such a big hit, I think.
Definitely. All right, so we fast forward to present day, which technically isn't present day because we're 2020, but present day for them was 1980. So they open up this camp where these two counselors got killed.
Mm-hmm. And they don't know anything about the history. I don't think none of the teenagers or the counselors, they don't know what's going on. They keep hearing stuff from the people in the town, but they don't know what's going on.
And we have what I thought was our final girl. She goes to a gas station or something like that to catch a ride to the camp.
You thought she was the final girl?
But she was the first girl in the scene.
No, I knew she wasn't the final girl, but I thought she was going to be around for longer than she was.
Yeah. So she goes to the gas station to catch a ride to the camp. They fill her in on everything that's happened.
Right, and she thinks they just crazy, like, oh, you guys are just so silly.
But she ignores countless warnings. One, there's a homeless guy on a bike that tells her. Two, everybody in the gas station restaurant tells her. And three, she gets dropped off at a gas station. Cemetery.
They dropped off as far as they were going. It was right in front of the cemetery. I was like, okay, that's a lot of symbolism, foreshadowing, whatever you want to call it. But people were calling it like Camp Blood. And she was like, you guys are so silly and scared and superstitious. Ha ha ha. I was like, come on now. Pay attention to the signs, ma'am. She can hitchhiking. This is the 80s though.
Now, one of the great things about this movie, you know, I love slashers. You did not have to wait long at all to see people get.
You did not.
Dismembered.
The first 5 minutes, she killed the campers in the 50s.
That's right. Fire. Now, Crystal says she. So we're gonna go on and let it out. The killer in this movie is not Jason, even though I had the Jason mask. The killer in this movie is his mother, Mrs. Voorhees.
Right.
And let me tell you something about her. they don't let her in to the end of the movie, but she just has some classic lines where she talks in Jason's voice, like, kill them, mommy, kill them. So and then she answers in her voice, like, yo, she is like...
She played that role. She was really just gone. She was really gone.
Crazy. Now, unfortunately, let me say fortunately first, I do love this movie, but because this movie is 1980s, it does show its age.
Yeah.
There are a lot of kill scenes where I'm like, okay, that does not look believable at all. But
it's still a classic, though.
Still a classic.
I really think they did good for what they had back in the day, because this is from 1980, so of course technology wasn't advanced, and CG, I don't even know if they had CG back then, so much more advanced now with the horror movies now. So I think they did a really good job. It looks like they did it on a very simple budget, but still made it great. That's what made it great, I think.
And this movie made tons of money, as you know,
and built the whole franchise,
a whole bunch of sequels.
Yes.
It also launched the career of one of our favorite actors from what movie was he from that you like so much?
Footloose.
Yes, Kevin Bacon. Kevin Bacon, he was in this movie. He got slaughtered.
I think it's one of his first movies, I think.
Yeah, he got slaughtered. Yeah. But anyways, we're just really excited about this. So we're gonna go just set the whole scene. So the girl that I thought was the final girl, she ends up trying to catch a ride. She catches something else. She gets killed on the way, but you don't hear the killer's voice. You don't see the killer, which is just amazing.
Great suspense build up.
Great suspense build up. And so you meet all the counselors, and one by one they get whacked. They get whacked off. You still don't see the killer. You still don't hear a voice. There are certain clues to where it is like, hey, somebody says, hey, what are you doing out here? They kind of let you know that they know who it is, but they never say a name. You never hear a voice. So, I mean...
because it seemed like, I think it was nice how they had it as the killer as a female, because we weren't expecting that back then. That wasn't common. So, when some people were seeing her like, who, hey, or like the girl caught the ride from her, she probably thought she was safe. She looked like a regular, just grandma. So, she probably thought, hey, I'm safe, I'm going to get right with her. So, I think that was what added to it being such a good twist at the end, because nobody was expecting the killer to be a female. A grandma. She was like old.
Yeah, and that's the thing. She's like, oh, she looks like your auntie, like Crystal said, your grandma. How are you killing people like this?
Strongly killing men and women. I'm like, okay.
And some of the kill scenes in this were just brutal. She liked to slit people's throats.
That was the main thing, slitting throats with a knife.
Oh my God. And so let me just say the KJ kill scene. So they got your boy Kevin Bacon. Yeah, had he just engaged in some sinful activity?
He did.
He had just engaged in some sinful activity. He was laying on the bed. Something drops on his head. He looks up and it's like a splatter of blood. He's like, what's going on? Next thing you know, there is a blade that just comes up through his throat. Bye, Bacon.
It looked like that hurt too.
It hurt bad. The amount of time he was alive. He suffocated.
Got him real quiet.
Yeah.
Wasn't expecting that. Maybe jump a little bit. Haven't seen it in a long time, so.
Yeah. So
and that's how they got you too with the sound effects. It'd be like the music get real loud or something with the screeching and stuff. Really good sound effects.
Crystal in the car.
Yes, really good sound effects. And the sound crew did a real good job. And it's that theme song that they created for that movie, which was a classic for all of them. Yes. And the violin, the sharp. And like, what is going on?
Music to my...
Yes, they did a really good job with that.
Yes.
They kept it simple, but it was just enough.
So there's not really a lot of plot here. There's just this lady going killing all the counselors that they brought in.
It's a little bit of plot because there's backstory. Because they kind of mention on Camp Blood, and you're like, well, what's going on? What happened with this camp? They don't really go into it until the end of the movie, and then you find out, okay, why she's doing all this.
So end of the movie is when they let everything out. So they do have the final girl. She sees people that have been killed, been butchered. So So she runs out. She sees a Jeep with an old woman in it. Mm-hmm. And for some reason, the old woman is a friend of the Christies.
The Christies, I don't know who that was.
I don't know who the Christies are, but apparently it was able to calm the girl down.
Yeah.
So she was like, no, don't go in there. There are people that are dead. And the old woman lets us know for the first time that she's a little crazy when she says, I'm not scared.
Yeah, she was real calm.
If somebody tell me that there's some dead people in there, I'm not taking my black in there.
Let's get in the car. Let's go to the police station. Let's call 911 something. So that did seem strange. I remember when I first watched it a long time ago. I was like, she's kind of calm.
So she goes in with the final girl, and she's just like, so young, people die so young. And then she goes in and tells the backstory about a young boy that they let drown.
Yes. Because they should have never opened the cap, not after what happened so many years ago.
Because apparently, Jason, who's the young boy that she was talking about, her son, he drowned while the counselors were having sex. So she just went crazy and just
wanted to make sure that was her way, I guess, of getting her revenge and also making sure it didn't happen to anybody else. Because she mentioned she was the chef at the camp at the time when it happened, and Jason should have been watched.
Yes.
He wasn't there for the swimmers, what she said.
Guys, if you're camp counselors, you don't want to be slaughtered, let's not have sex. And this movie was great with the sin factor. There was sex, there was
strip monopoly,
gratuitous drug use. I mean, this basically had everything you wanted.
Smoking joints, as they called them back in the day.
Man, this movie was great.
Yes.
So, needless to say, it's a classic. Needless to say, if you haven't seen it, go see it.
Yeah.
Needless to say, it's Friday the 13th. What are you doing? If you're not watching Friday the 13th on Friday the 13th, what are you doing? Let's get it together, people. So we're going to go into final score time. I just want to say personally, Freddy and Jason and Michael Myers are like the Mount Rushmore of horror. Is it 4 people on Mount Rushmore or 3? 4. Okay, so just throw Leatherface in there. Yeah. So Freddy, Jason, Michael Myers, and Leatherface are the Mount Rushmore. So being that Jason is my favorite personally, I'm going to go on and just break all records, all rules here, and give this the ultimate classic 5-knife rating. Perfect movie. It spawned perfect sequels. If it wasn't for this, we wouldn't even know Jason. Even though this movie was about Mrs. Voorhees, you got to know her before you know him. So, 5 Knives, classic. Gotta go catch it. It's Friday the 13th. I'm sure you can catch it on one of these channels out here. So, let's get it. Crystal, what is your score?
I really like the movie too. You guys know I'm a Freddy fan, but I still like Jason too. I have to give it, it's a classic, so I have to give it 4.5 knives.
Okay, so 4.5, which is still great.
Good. I like the movie.
4.5.
They did a lot of foreshadowing in the movie, kind of like the one girl talking to her boyfriend Kevin Bacon about nightmare she had about blood, rain turning into blood and stuff. I'm like, okay. So they did a lot of kind of build up in the movie, which I think was really good. Plus the backstory with the mom and Jason and the camp and everything. So I think they really did a good job and didn't just try to make some cheesy horror movie. And that's why it was received so well and they did so many sequels. Were able to do so many sequels.
Yeah. And before we forget, make sure you follow us on Twitter at Scary Horror Show and on Instagram at The Scary Horror Show. So 4.5, get the popcorn, get the liquor, get litty.
Why not? It's Friday the 13th.
Let's do it. So until next time, this is KJ.
And your girl Crystal.
From the ScaryHorrorShow.com. Peace.
Holla.
ScaryHorrorShow.com.